Hey everyone, welcome back. I hope everyone is having a great weekend. Again, still working on getting better at this, learning how to organize my time and actually get videos done like more on a schedule. I'm not really very good at schedules and things like that, so I probably should find a slot of time and actually devote that time to filming. So I've been having a lot of fun with it though. I mean, learning how to edit and everything. So I'm glad I'm doing it, but it's definitely a learning curve and I am not very good with schedules. So probably not the best time to eat a Rolo, but here we are. Today, I'll just go through my day, I guess, since I don't have like a topic. Got up, went to church. After church, went to go get something to eat. Then me and Anna walked around the mall. Didn't really buy anything. This was all the cool little Valentine stuff that we looked at Barnes & Noble. Barnes & Noble is one of my happy places. I love going over there and looking at all the books and walking around. And of course, since we're close to Valentine's Day, I had to stop by the little Valentine's Day items and look at everything. Super cute. Of course, I want to buy everything, but I didn't. So that's, yeah. I was just looking around. After that, I came home, did laundry, started laundry, unpacked from the trip, put all my stuff away for the most part. Didn't really get all of it done. I finally cooked one of the meals, actually like kind of like a combination of two of the meals. Proud of myself. I'll probably insert. So this is the avocado salsa that I made. Avocado salad actually. And then this is the chicken with the avocado salad. It turned out really good. And yay. The picture of how the chicken and the salsa that I made turned out. And then I made some steak because the meals that I chose, I only chose them for 2 servings so that, because I know that Victoriana, my youngest, isn't going to eat most of the things I cook because she's just very particular about what she eats. So I didn't want to buy like a ton of ingredients. So I just did 2 servings, and so I made chicken and steak so that like the servings of the protein, and so that I could have enough. So excited that I actually did use the like meal lime recipes and stuff, and they turned out really good. And as I cook more, I'll probably get better at time and how long it takes, but definitely both recipes were really easy to follow and fast, and weren't complicated, and so I really enjoyed cooking them more than I thought I was gonna. I'm not really, so like with cooking, it's one of those like things that kind of used to make me have anxiety because I was just so afraid people wouldn't like what I cook for them, so I wouldn't do it. But I've realized if I cook on my own, like by myself, it goes better. And I do enjoy when someone enjoys what I make them. So like when Peter and Anna and Matt or whoever eats my food likes it and enjoys it, it's more fun. But it's another thing, it's another showing up, just doing the thing and letting everybody just decide on their own. And honestly, it doesn't, define who I am if they don't like my food. So, but it is definitely one of those anxiety inducing things for me sometimes. But again, I just did it, progress not perfection, and it turned out well. So proud of myself for that. That was a win today. So one thing that I was telling my sister today, because at this point we're just freestyling it, is I am a book, like I need to hold the book kind of girl. It doesn't resonate with me as well if I read it on my phone. Audible's better. Like if I listen to it, it's a little bit better. I can follow and process a little bit better. Reading it on my phone just does not resonate as well with me, especially if it's a topic that involves a whole lot of like deep thought and for example, if it's a novel, it's a lot easier for me to read on my phone. But if it's like a self-help or something where I need like to focus on a concept, like a bigger concept and not just a story, I need the book. And honestly, the novel I just enjoy better on paper. I guess I'm old school in that way. So one of the books that I read when I very first started this journey was Brene Brown's The Gifts of Imperfection. And this is the book that I have right here, The Gifts of Imperfection. I am a Brene Brown fan. Shame Resilience 101. Here are the first 3 things that you need to know about shame. Number 1, we all have it. Shame is universal and one of the most primitive human emotions that we experience. The only people who don't experience shame lack the capacity for empathy and human connection. Number 2, we're all afraid to talk about shame. Number 3, the less we talk about shame, the more control it has over our lives. Shame is basically the fear of being unlovable. It's the total opposite of owning our story and feeling worthy. In fact, the definition of shame that I developed for my research is, shame is the intensely painful feeling or experience of believing that we are flawed and therefore unworthy of love, belonging, and connection. Shame keeps worthiness away by convincing us that owning our stories will lead to people thinking less of us. Shame is all about fear. We're afraid that people won't like us if they know the truth about who we are, where we come from, what we believe, how much we're struggling, or, believe it or not, how wonderful we are when soaring. Sometimes it's just as hard to own our strengths as our struggles. She goes on to say, after a decade of research, I found that people with high levels of shame resilience share these 4 elements. They understand shame and recognize what messages and expectations trigger shame for them. Number 2, they practice critical awareness by reality checking the messages and expectations that tell us that being imperfect means being inadequate. Number 3, they reach out and share their stories with people they trust. 4, they speak shame. They use the word shame. They talk about how they're feeling and they ask for what they need. And I think it's also important to say what the difference between shame and guilty is, or shame and guilt. Guilt is I did something bad. Shame is I am bad. Shame is definitely something that I think probably will always struggle with. She also talks about, I really want to be positive, I really do. It's not one of those times in my life where I have a lot of positive things to say. it's not that I'm not doing a lot of good, and it's just life is hard, like first world problems, but at the same time, health problems, like health issues is what I'm currently dealing with in addition to my first world problems. And I have been really lucky in my life where up until now I haven't had any real big health problems. Finding the joy right now, being grateful is really important right now. Sitting in gratitude is something that I've learned that, like, gratitude is also one of the very first, is probably gratitude and affirmations are probably two of my biggest tools that I use on a daily basis to stay grounded, stay positive. And right now, grounding myself in that gratitude is harder than I would like it to be. There was a point where the gratitude just kind of was I was just grateful. Like, I just could feel it, and I would write it, journal it, and it was a really big focus for me. And then eventually I was always just woke up with a grateful heart. And that's the thing about all of this growth, and you got to do the work, and you can't stop doing the work. And I think that's where I'm at right now. I'm having to go back because I'm going through some stuff that's requiring me to go down to the basics and simplify and take away trying to level up more and just sit in the gratitude, sit in the affirmations, and give myself grace. That grace is huge. Grace is huge. So I want to talk a little bit more about grace. Grace is, like in the Bible definition, undeserved favor. That undeserved favor is where I lean in really big right now, giving myself grace, giving those around me grace. And I will, I think, always and forever struggle with grace. And I think that undeserved favor is very, very, very connected to shame. And in the beginning of this journey, when I very first started learning about me, I realized I lived in a state of shame, constant shame. It was just overpowering and such a burden on my entire existence. Like, I consistently lived in shame on a daily basis. And when I started to speak about why I was ashamed of myself and where that came from, that's where the grace came. First speaking the shame helped it to come out of the dark. And like shame, like Brene Brown says, shame lives in the dark. So when you speak it and you bring it into the light, it loses its power. And so I didn't realize that I was living in this shame darkness. I didn't know how much power it had over me until I identified it and started to work through it. So I have a shirt that says Grit and Grace, and that is where I am at right now. Grit and grace. The grit to keep pushing, not give up, don't tell, you know, just keep working. Go back to the simple things, you know, like gratitude journaling, affirmation journaling, because I'm so tired. I'm so exhausted from all the things. Because it's not just health stuff, obviously, it's other personal things. And I can get in a really big shame spiral about a lot of it. And I just have to remember grace, undeserved favor, and lean big on my faith and my relationship with God, which is very complicated and very personal. Grew up Catholic, still would call myself a Catholic, but that's a very like complicated, and human structure of the church is very, very different than I would say like my personal beliefs are. But I still identify and love a lot of the traditions. But I, you know, like everything else, have kind of modified it to work for me. So, because life is just more complicated than I think the black and white rules of a humanly made, led church. I mean, I know God is in the center of it, but humans be humaning, you know what I mean? So I wish that I had like I realize now that as joyful as I feel inside, these videos don't tend to be joyful. They tend to be pretty serious. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I want to talk about lipstick and fun and fashion all the time. I want to be light. I want to bring light to people's day. And maybe talking about the hard stuff brings some light because it's more relatable. I don't know. But I still continue to know I'm supremely blessed, super lucky to be living in general, living this life. And I have so much good around me, and I feel the good. I think for a while I didn't feel the good. I feel the good around me. I'm having a lot of fun. That's good. I can still like even though I'm going through it, I'm able to be present in the moment when like the fun moments happen, you know? Like in the game, during Peter's games, when I got to hang out with Crystal. Thing that I was able to be present is hanging out with Victoriana when we were walking around the mall. Like, those things were fun. Those were the things I wanted to do. I wanted to go to Barnes & Noble. I wanted to look around. So I know that I'm still like able to enjoy moments. Like, I'm still enjoying things. I'm still having fun. It's just in the back of my head and through it all. I'm really tired, and I hope that some resolution and some answers are able to be given to me so that I can chill and not be so stressed. And that I just keep pushing and understand that while I am far from perfect, I am still worthy. I am whole, perfect, and worthy. I am loved, loving, and lovable. And yeah. So I'm going to keep putting the red lipstick on. Keep wearing the things that make me feel beautiful. Writing the gratitude journal again, starting that again. And just understand that every day is a good day. And every day, the only competition that I have is today me for tomorrow, you know? And not every day is gonna be the best version of me. I mean, it's kind of weird because, like, it is the best version of me, but I may not always show up the way that I would want. But I'm still doing the best I can with what I've got, and I'm doing way better now than I have ever done before. So, happy to be here. Happy to be able to make the video. I can like, if I were to watch this back, I just seem so sad. I just feel so... I hope I post this. I hope that I post at least portions of this. I can tell you I'm going to edit a lot, but whatever I do post, I just want you all to know that I want to bring light. I want to bring joy to your day. If you're watching this, I want it to help and resonate for you. I'm sorry, I'm not sorry, but I wish I will work to have more fun, because I know the lighthearted is hard to find right now. And I want to be, I mean, I know not every video, but I want, you know, some of my videos to be joyful. I did a lot of talking. I'm not sure any of it was real productive or made any sense. So, thanks for joining. Take something from this that's helpful, and understand that you are also whole, perfect, and worthy, and loved, loving, and lovable. And remember, grit and grace. And whatever is your red lipstick or your white new shirt, find those things, and hopefully that helps. And remember, in that grace, in the grit and the grace, that if all you can do is show up and go through the motions, that's still a win. And I see you, and I know, it is not easy. So, thanks for watching. See you next time.